Hey guys, what's on the bench today? Today, I'll be trying to heat treat three knives that I'm making for a customer. Let's explore how I get to the heat treating process. So what I've done with this one is I've started with a simple farrier's rasp. And with this particular knife, I'm not doing any forging or shaping, I'm cutting it. So what I basically did is you can see here, I've cut the shape, the size, the length that I wanted. And if you saw one of my other videos, you saw me bending this handle up to get the basic upsweep on the handle. Then what I do is I take it to my sanding thing, and I start to bevel the edges in like the traditional knife. So it tapers towards a center point in your cutting edge. And once I get about the thickness of a nickel, I will stop. And the reason I stop is I've got to heat treat it. I've got to make the blade hard so it will cut and hold an edge. If I get this edge too thin during the heat treat process, the blade will turn into a banana. It will bend. It will find a weak spot and it will bend. So what I do again is I get it down to about the thickness of a nickel, and then I will heat treat it. And I've done that with all three of these blades. This blade I left a little bit more meat on it just because it's longer and it will have more of a chance to warp during the heat treat process. And again, here's the other one. Alright, let's fire up the forge. Now I've spoke about this process on several of my videos. What I've got here's my blade, and what I'll do is I'm going to work it in the forge until the entire blade area gets red hot and past non-magnetic. What you'll see me do is I will be sweeping it in and out to get a nice even heat across the entire blade, and then once it all gets pretty well red hot, then you'll start to see me check it. Now it sticks to the magnet now. Once it gets red hot and it gets past non-magnetic, that is when I know it is time to quench. Still sticks. Still a little bit magnetic right there on the end. Now I'm going to check and see if it's straight. I'm going to put it in the straightening jig. So what we have here now are three hardened blades. Now the problem is they are so hard, if I was to chop something really hard with them, they would snap, crackle, or pop. So I've got to do what they call tempering, or yeah, we'll call it tempering. Now, before I do that, I need to make sure I've got it flat. Uh, Knife shouldn't wobble at all when I press on either side. That one's pretty good. What little wobble is there, I can grind out when I grind that final edge on. So that one's got a slight warp up, probably right there where I put that bend into it. No wobble, no wobble. Well, there's a little bit of wobble here, but again, it's right where I put the bend, so I might have just a little bit of a bulge right there because, does that look straight? Look straight. Now this one is probably still a little too hot for me to handle. And again, that's pretty good. Pretty good. And what I will do is before I temper them, and I don't understand the exact science behind it, I will let these cool to room temperature, laying flat on their own. I won't do anything else to them. Before I put them in the oven, I will clean off some of the oil that I put on them. You saw that I dipped them in a big old stainless steel bucket of oil. That's just regular canola cooking oil. And what that is it's got a higher flash point than water. Water will start to evaporate at 220 degrees when it starts to boil. Oil's a little bit higher, around 400 for canola. So what this does, it enables the metal to cool slower. It's not as traumatic on the molecules that are in the process of changing from fluid and red hot to solid again. So it does it at a slower pace, and it locks it changes the molecular structure. And if I could find a good picture of it, I will post it as a still on my video. I will see you at the oven in a few hours. All right, we've got our 3 blades cooled, washed, and now they're ready to go into the kitchen oven for 1 hour at 400 degrees twice. Let's get the oven going. Now the best thing to do is preheat the oven before you put your knives in. So let's go ahead and make sure we don't have anything in here. Ooh, my secret stash. Good thing.